I met Derek and Caitlin when we were in college at Creighton, and I really remember starting to become friends with the two of them probably around sophomore year of college.
Obviously through Creighton University, but I met Caitlin my almost like first day on campus because we were in the same RSP group. I don't remember exactly when I met Derek, but I'm assuming Caitlin introduced me to him at some point. Derek, if you remember, let me know. And then obviously Caitlin and I got closer as we joined the same sorority, and we were both in nursing, and so we spent a good chunk of time together throughout our college experience.
So I don't have really a good story about how Derek and Caitlin and I met. Derek was trying to organize a flag football team on the Creighton Class of 2015 Facebook page, and really the rest is history as far as that goes. I couldn't even tell you the first time we met in person, but I don't really think I need to. Same with Caitlin. I think we might have met the first night at Creighton, but the nights that followed were really what mattered.
I first met Derek after posting online about having a roommate, because both Derek and I were scared of random roommates. After discovering we both loved sports, we decided it was a good idea to live together. Turns out that was a pretty good idea. On move-in day, my mom was in the room and Derek asked if he could play music, and this was actually the song he decided to play. So after that song was done and Derek left the room, my mom asked, "Is he a drug dealer?" Turns out he's not. And then I actually don't remember how I met Caitlin exactly, but I just remember her being very threatened by Derek and I's love for each other.
Hello, my name is Nolan. I first met Derek in 4th grade in Miss Schuette's class. He was the new kid in school, and Miss Schuette asked me if I would sit next to him because she wanted to make sure that he had a friend to sit with at lunch, and me being the shy kid too, I did not want to do that. So luckily at lunch someone else sat by him, but somehow we still became friends, and here we are today. So I don't actually remember the first time that me and Caitlin met. It was probably some prior leg thing that I didn't actually want to go to, but look, it worked out. We're still friends.
So I met Caitlin first. I had science class with her freshman year of high school. We sat next to each other in Mr. Germanson's science class. To be honest with you, I didn't really learn a whole lot in that class because I was either talking with all the other people in my class, or Caitlin and I were always talking and hanging out and just kind of ignoring everything that was going on in class. And then Derek I met junior year of high school. After him and Caitlin started dating. I remember that we met at a friend's house after Prior Lake and Holy Angels just played in football. Prior Lake had beat Holy Angels, and so Derek was kind of upset about it, and so he didn't really want to talk to any Prior Lake people. And then I met him a couple weeks later again at junior homecoming. That's when I think we really kind of hit it off, and we've been great friends ever since. And don't really know how it happened. It just kind of happened, and I'm pretty sure that just explains like Derek and me to a T.
I first met Derek when I started working at the Scott Information Desk as a desk attendant when I was a freshman, and he was the student supervisor, so he held all of our student staff meetings and things like that. So I guess you could say he was kind of like my boss. And then I also met Caitlin when I joined Gamma Phi when I was a freshman, and she was a sophomore.
Caitlin, we met in elementary school. Don't remember meeting you, but I'm sure it was great. And we obviously have been friends ever since, so we must have clicked. We really got close in high school. Derek, well, all you need to know about how Derek and I met is that I'm the reason that Caitlin and Derek met. So,
how did I meet Caitlin and Derek? I've known Caitlin since we were kids, probably since we were 5 years old. I don't honestly know how we met. Maybe in class, maybe at recess. but we were best friends, so it obviously worked out well. And then Derek, I think I officially met him at a movie in 10th grade probably. But it's kind of funny because I met Caitlin approximately 10 years before Derek, and it's been 10 years almost since then. So it's been a good 20 years, I guess.
Caitlin, I guess, well, I was the first one to meet you, along with your Aunt Lori in the hospital. I can honestly say it was truly love at first sight. I remember, many different things being able to do with you growing up. I was younger then, so we got to do some active things like ice skating and sledding and fishing and father-daughter dance. That's something I'll remember forever. Derek, I remember the first time seeing you standing in our kitchen when I came home from work. You looked a little nervous probably, but the only thing I really regret about that time is not being able to see Brandon run around singing Caitlin Has a Boyfriend. That would have been really neat to see, I think. I know it's something that you really enjoyed. Well, maybe not.
Oh, the first time I met Caitlin was October 16th, 1992, when I found out I was having a girl. I remember, this is upside down. I remember when my dad passed away and I asked him to make sure that someday I would have a little girl and she'd have dark hair and blue eyes, but I didn't get everything I wished for, but she did have big brown eyes, and she still has beautiful big brown eyes. Fun story about Caitlin. When I was pregnant with her, she loved to flutter and jump around every night when Cheers came on. If you guys know the theme for Cheers, it's kind of a catchy little tune, but every night when we had Cheers on, she would start rolling around and kicking, and it was fun. So Derek, my advice to you on that would be, now that you're watching Cheers on Netflix, that'd be a great time for you to dance with Caitlin, put Cheers on, and she'd probably love that music. The night she was born, it was about 10 o'clock, and after they weighed her and swallowed her and gave me her to hold, the Cheers show came on, and her eyes just kind of opened up really wide, like she actually recognized the song, I swear. In addition to the Cheers music, when she was probably, I don't know, 6 months and up, her and Rick would usually dance to this one song by Neil Young, and it was the same song. For whatever reason, it was just really soothing to her, and she would get so relaxed. But yet, you know how Caitlin is, she always has that fear of missing out. She still has it to this day, I know, but she did when she was a baby too, because she would be so relaxed and so tired, but she would fight to keep those big brown eyes open and stay awake, but eventually her daddy would dance her to sleep. We met Derek. It was funny because Derek had been hanging around with some other guys and I didn't really know who he was, but I remember one night they were in our backyard and him and Caitlin were just back there and they were swinging, and then later on I found out that that's when Derek asked Caitlin to be his girlfriend. So that's the first time I met Derek.
I wish that I had a first really distinct memory with Caitlin, but I really just don't. I'm guessing that it was sometime around this. As far as Derek goes, I think that my first memory was actually that swing set situation that everyone else seems to be talking about, but that really is the first memory I have with him. And I think that that was the first time that I met him. And I also remember that just because he had a bunch of friends over and me and my friend Mariana were hanging out and we saw cute boys in the backyard, so that's why I remember it, I think.
I first met Caitlin through Gamma Phi, but I remember, so we all joined Gamma Phi and it was really fun. Because we all had a bunch of friends, new friends, and getting to know the girls. But I remember I really became friends with Caitlin, and I don't know if you remember this, Caitlin, but I went to Chipotle with you and Morgan McEwen, and we stayed there for like 2, maybe 3 hours just talking and talking, because we had so many things in common, and it was just kind of like the big things in life that we really valued and kind of had the same beliefs in. So that's, I think, when we really kind of first hit it off. And she, in that dinner, mentioned her boyfriend and this guy, Derek, and I didn't know Derek. And I don't remember exactly when I first met Derek.
Hi, Derek and Caitlin. I believe, if my memory is correct, we first met you on February 3rd, 1993 at Fairview Hospital in Burnsville is when we met Caitlin and welcomed her into our family and another granddaughter, and had good memories of being at the farm and spending time here, camping out in a tent one night, and then we met Derek mostly at family gatherings at Rick and Mary's and at the farm.
And I met Caitlin the same way at the hospital. As far as Derek, I don't remember when I met him, but must have been made a decent impression on me, because otherwise I would remember when I met him.
You mean when she was a baby or what?
Yeah. When she was born, you remember?
I remember going to the hospital. It was real foggy that night. Yeah, you could almost cut it. Oh yes, Roman and I made the trip there when we got the call.
Was she ugly?
Well, I don't know, she was a baby.
So that means yes.
You know, my babies were all ugly at first.
Did you hear that, Mom?
Mary Beth was blue. She had the cord, around her neck, and she was blue for a week. Just think how bad I'd have felt.
You sure you wanted to make this video?
Yeah, I think good.
No, Mary Beth was beautiful. She was like a little Chinese with the black pixie bangs, and she had a full head of hair.
Oh, she had a haircut when she came out already?
She had a really pretty, yeah, and she had a lot of hair.
What did Caitlin look like? She probably looked like that, huh?
She looked a lot like her mother, Mary Beth, yes.
Yeah. And then, do you
the
not...
same coloring, the hair, the dark hair, a lot of hair.
Do you remember meeting Derek? No?
Not really, I don't know.
Nothing special to him, huh?
Maybe when I came over here for a picture for the prom or something. Homecoming. We had a picture taken all dressed up, maybe, huh? I wasn't dressed up, they were.
Oh, okay.
I first met Caitlin and Derek our freshman year. I met them through a mutual friend, and also because of Gamma Phi with Caitlin.
Obviously, I met Derek the day he was born. I held tiny little Derek in my arms. He was still much, much smaller than me at that point, so it was quite a long time ago. And then Caitlin I met when I was visiting my mom back home in our old Burnsville house, visiting from college. And I think the two of you stopped by the house just briefly, and my mom and I were like, is this the famous Caitlin? And we were very excited to meet you. I think we just kind of said hello, and it was very brief. I think Derek kind of got you guys out of there pretty quickly because he was probably embarrassed. But I think that was our first meeting, and it was lovely, and obviously the rest is history.
I first met Caitlin when I was a high school kid, probably pretty annoying. I probably didn't present myself very well. And I met Derek probably 2 years later, hopefully under better circumstances. Hopefully I was a little less annoying, a little more mature.
So Derek, I met you for the first time when you came to watch our play Hi, Hello, Namaste. And after the play, Alison was tying a bracelet on your hand as part of the Rakhi Festival of India. And I just came there to meet and greet, to see you all guys, and just to meet you guys. And I remember I underestimated your height, and I was feeling like, oh my gosh, his brother is so tall, because she's not at all. But anyways, it was fun seeing you for the first time. Who knew you're gonna be my brother-in-law, right? That's exciting. But Caitlin, I don't remember when I met you for the first time, but I do remember hearing about you from Alison for the first time when she was telling me about your love story, and she was telling me how sweet you are. And I think she underexpressed your sweetness because you are even more sweeter than what she described about you. And I'm so happy to have another sister.
Derek at the Academy of Holy Angels when we were both freshmen. We ended up having the same lunch hour together, and we sat at the same table together, and that's where I introduced myself. He introduced himself to me, and he's been a good friend to me ever since then, and I couldn't be happier to have a friend like him. As for Caitlin, I first met Caitlin during the summer of our sophomore year of high school. Derek, Caitlin, and myself and a few other friends, we were all going to take a trip down to the Minnesota State Fair that day, and that's where Derek introduced me to Caitlin for the first time, and I've considered Caitlin a good friend, since that day too, and it's always nice to be around her.
I think that we kind of know when I met Derek. I met Derek before anybody knew Derek, so that's kind of obvious. Caitlin, I met you when you guys first started going out. I don't know how many times you've gone out, and you stopped by the house in Burnsville, and Derek brought you in and introduced you, and it was very quick, and I thought, oh, she's really cute. So
What's your first memory of Caitlin as a little kid?
I don't know.
You don't remember anything?
No.
Just like, what's the last thing you remember from like when you were a kid and Caitlin was in it?
Maybe when I was in kindergarten and she was like 8. To be honest, I can't think back. Like
That makes sense. I mean,
like honestly, because like I mean.
So what was your memory of that?
Going to school, and she was in 8th grade, and she was watching over me and yelling at me when I got in trouble at school. So.
Which is quite frequently, huh?
Yeah, that was quite frequent.
So how'd you meet Derek? Do you remember meeting Derek? Because everyone else seems to.
Yes, I do. Derek came over with Nolan and Adam in, I believe it was Nolan's car, and Miranda and I were out in the yard playing with water balloons, and they rolled up, and I threw a water balloon in their car. And that's when I met Derek.
Favorite thing about them is how compatible they are with each other. I remember, especially during senior year of college, being able to spend time with them together. I could just tell that there was something special. Just seeing how happy that they were around each other, and it just worked. And now here we are.
I just have countless memories with you two, between going to concerts, going to basketball games, grilling outside, and just having a good time. I can't think of a negative experience, and you guys are always smiling and positive and looking out for your friends. So I just think that speaks volumes as to you guys as a couple. So I think you guys are a great match.
Favorite thing about Caitlin and Derek, I think, well, there's a bunch, but first and foremost, I think that it's cool how you guys both can be uniquely yourselves, but when you're together, I feel like you are stronger than when you're apart. I also really aspire to find a relationship like your guys' that's deeply rooted in Catholicism and that uses faith to strengthen you guys fundamentally. So I think those two things are my favorite things, although like I said, there are many things that I love about you.
Favorite thing about Caitlin and Derek is the fact that whether they're together or separate, they're the same. And what I mean by that is if you hang out with them together or you hang out with one of them without the other, they don't act any different. And I think that's really rare with couples. I honestly don't know that I know anyone that's like that in the way they are. So that's honestly just the coolest thing to me, and that they don't feel like they need to hide anything or behave differently around other people.
I would say the value they put in their relationship, both with each other and the people in their lives, they truly care about each and every person they meet and that's in their life. My favorite thing about Derek is that he's always the last to go to bed and usually the first one to get up. Caitlin usually stays up with us, but then it sleeps a little later.
Well, maybe not. Memories that are unique to the two of you as a couple, I guess, are probably mostly down in Omaha, Creighton, just because it was unique to the two of you as a couple, coming down and visiting, going around and seeing the town with you, and going to all the bars and restaurants and stuff, and just having you show us around. You really enjoyed your time down there, and I just think that whole experience is unique to the two of you as a couple, along with many, many others, of course, but that one seems to really stand out to me.
My favorite memory with Derek and Caitlin was sophomore year of high school when us three were at the Croyers, and this was the night that Derek decided to ask Caitlin out. And so Derek and Caitlin were laying in the grass for hours and 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 hours, and then I was sitting on the swing set waiting for Derek to ask him so then we could finally leave their house. It was the best day of my life, and I'm so happy I was there to be a part of it. My favorite thing about you, Derek and Caitlin, is that you are beautiful, like these flowers.
My favorite thing about Derek and Caitlin is how they always include other people, no matter what they're doing. I've always felt so included hanging out with them, whether it's with their Creighton friends or with their Minnesota friends. They're just always down to have a good time, and they want everyone to be a part of it if they want to be.
Picked out a couple words that I think just sort of describe you both. I picked out one for each of you. So Caitlin, what came to mind when I thought of you is just energy. I know that you do everything that you do with so much energy, and I've always admired that about you. Whether it's being there for your friends or your career or whatever it is, you're always full of energy. Some of my favorite memories with you, I think, kind of encompass that. For example, when I dressed up as a man who was large, with a lot of weird facial hair, and chased you around Prior Lake. And that took a lot of energy because we had to film that thing all day long. And then the other thing I think of is when we heard Boom Boom Pow for the first time. It changed our lives. We were in your kitchen, and I just remember cranking, well, maybe it wasn't the first time because we cranked it up on every radio in your house and danced like fools. But I will never forget that moment, and that was so fun. And Derek, my word that I picked for you is unite. I think you've always had a knack to unite our friend group, and that's something special. You can always get people behind what you want to do and organize us and get us excited. So that's your word, Derek. I do have a couple favorite memories of you too. One more recent one when we were in college is when you and me and M. Sully were at Plums, and I think you're the only of my guy friends I've ever seen dance on a bar and then get kicked out off of said bar. Not out, but just off the bar. Also, for some reason, my memories with you involve alcohol, but I also remember being on your shoulders the first night of our first Wee Fest. I've never been that tall in my life. It was great. And also morphing into Steve and Heidi the last night of our first Wee Fest. Just, yeah, I'm not gonna explain that one. Hopefully you remember it. If you don't, you were once called Steve.
I think that I could come up with my favorite things about Caitlin. I could come up with my favorite things about Derek. But my favorite thing about the two of them together is that I have spent countless hours with the two of them together and never felt uncomfortable. I've just always felt like I've been hanging out with my friends, and I think that that's a really positive thing about their relationship is that everyone feels comfortable around them and is always happy to be around them, and I love spending time with them.
My favorite thing about them too as a couple, they're just fun. They like to plan fun things and do fun stuff.
Definitely my favorite thing about Caitlin and Derek is their faith-filled relationship. It's very obvious when God is in a relationship just because he does amazing things, and he's definitely done that to Caitlin and Derek. He's helped them love each other unconditionally. Also really love that they're so open to life. I know that God is just smiling up in heaven that you guys are so open to that, and I cannot wait to be an aunt.
This is one thing I love about you guys is just how well you work together. You know, you guys just have that natural spark, and you can really see that when you guys are together, and just the love for each other that you have in your eyes and through your motions and things like that. I think that's very special, and that's very rare.
We like how committed you are to each other and how you plan together and so forth.
What's your favorite thing about Caitlin and Derek?
Well, they're pretty special in my life. They're part of my 21 grandchildren.
They've always been a good role model to me, just like the two of them together. Just kind of like watching over me, and like they both kind of been in my life a lot in the past several years. Derek like helping me in sports and stuff, and then as my confirmation sponsor, and they've just kind of been there a lot. So.
The favorite thing about them was that they were just so happy and in love and just so eager to experience life together and to have a great time together, and they were just really great friends, and that's something that I really looked up to.
By far, my favorite thing is how well each of you gels with the other's family. I can't express how important that is, that Derek just gets along so well and feels like such part of the family of the Croyers, and likewise with Caitlin, at least I hope. You know, being part of the crazy Steele clan is no easy task, and of course we love you for accepting us and just loving us, and I think that's just something that's so wonderful for both of you guys, so that's my favorite thing.
There's so many things I like about you two. You are so good communicating. But the thing that pops into my mind is you guys are so grounded in your faith together, and I think that is so important. I just love that. I think that's what's going to help, and it's going to be the basis, and it should be the basis of your marriage.
They always really value their friends and their family, the relationships between them, and they're always looking to have a good time, and they always want to make sure everybody around them is having a good time. So that's my favorite thing about them.
So the second question is my favorite thing about you two. So Derek, my favorite thing about you is that you are so sincere. In fact, like I get inspiration from you, like how can I be sincere just like you? Whatever you do, whether it's a professional life or whether it's a personal life, you are always like committed towards whatever you do, and you are like so sincere. So keep it up, bro. Love you. And we are also got our buddies. So I'll get inspired sometime. And about Caitlin, you are such an honest and pure soul. Like you just express whatever is in your heart, and that is the best thing I love about you. And that's why it's like always fun to be around you, because whenever you laugh, you just laugh your heart out. And it's so much I miss over here in North Carolina that we cannot be around you, and can't wait to see you soon.
What I like about Derek is that, most of all, towards sports, Derek and I are extremely stubborn, especially about college football. You know, he has his team, the Oregon Ducks. I have my team, the Michigan Wolverines, and we always like to bicker about whose team is better. Obviously, it's my Wolverines. There's no comparison. But besides sports, you know, Derek and I can have a conversation about anything, and it's always nice to have a friend close like him to have conversations like that. What I like about Caitlin is that she's always happy, always in a good mood, always smiling and laughing. In the years I've been around her, I can't recall a time I've ever seen her in a bad mood. She's always really welcoming towards others, really lightens the mood for everybody, and it's really nice to be around somebody like that.
Favorite thing about Caitlin and Derek would be, I think, just their faith life. No matter what happens in life or in general, just anything that's going on, they're always revolving anything around their faith life, and it's to just see how strong that their faith life is, and to witness the love that they have for Christ and everything. It blows me away sometimes at how they have just built their faith life, and they've really had it together.
I guess I'd say the advice that I have for the two of them would be stay true to each other in the relationship and the love that you have for each other, because, you know, from here on out, there's going to be all new experiences in life. You know, from having kids to getting your first house to, you know, anything and everything. It's gonna be very exciting.
I've always looked up to the way that you guys can just have fun and be yourselves when you're together, and I think a lot of my favorite memories with you individually, Caitlin, and then together as a couple have to do with going to concerts, and they revolve around music, and I think it's really cool to see that you guys are both so comfortable in your own skin, but together you can be yourself, and my advice would just to be stay that way because it's gotten you this far, and I think that if you do that, it will lead to a life of love, laughter, and longevity.
They're the same people around their friends as they are around each other, and I know that they keep that up, that they'll their marriage will last forever. I'd also just say, and besides not changing that, don't change the way they approach anything else either. They're both just really incredibly balanced people between the way they handle their work, their friendships, their relationships, including their relationship with themselves, and their social life. It's just really, really incredible, and that's the biggest advice I can give them going into their marriages. Just do what you did to get you there. Keep your friends important, keep your family there, keep your faith strong, and keep your love for each other strong. That'll all follow if you keep doing what you've been doing.
I wouldn't say I'm an expert on marriage advice or anything like that, so I'm gonna skip that, but if you need medical advice, come to me in like 10 years.
So this is the part where I'm supposed to give you guys some life advice. I'm not really good with life advice, and I don't really have that much experience being married and giving advice in terms of that, but I have some imagery I want to use that will hopefully convey a little bit of advice for you guys. So I would say your love is like the river. It flows and it looks nice. Sometimes other people want to jump in it, but it keeps flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing, just like love.
It sounds a little cliche, but I'll say the advice that I have for you guys is that remember the little moments on your wedding. Taking it right out of the office there, take mental snapshots, because obviously I'm not married, but I hear that it just flies by, and obviously you guys have been putting a lot into this wedding, so really hope that you guys are able to kind of remember the small moments and enjoy them. Just, Derek, don't cut your tie off.
If I had to give a piece of advice to Caitlin and Derek, it would be to always make time for a fun date night. I think there's so much fun to be had in trying new things together, you know, going to a new restaurant or trying a new activity, and I think it's really good for a relationship.
My advice for Caitlin and Derek, though I obviously have not been married before, is just to remember that marriage is a sacrament and you are given the graces to get through anything, and just to stay steadfast in your relationship with the Lord, and then that will give you all you need to have a great marriage.
I guess the advice that I would give to the two of you would be serious advice, and that'd be to keep God in your marriage. You knew I couldn't give advice without saying something about God. It's truly what's going to hold your marriage together is God is that glue, and make him first. Keep God number one in your marriage, and he will show you how to love your spouse. And that is the number one thing in a marriage. You remember that love is a decision as well. Love is not a feeling. The feeling that comes with love is a benefit of having made that decision to love someone. You need to get up every day and decide to love your spouse. It is that commitment that goes with that decision that brings all the warm, fuzzy feelings that we think is love. It's really the decision to love each other that makes it so rewarding.
Tips on your future, oh gosh, on being married. Just love each other for forever, because I know you will and you always have. And you guys are best friends, and I know that it'll always be that way.
And some advice I have for them. It's hard to give advice to somebody you look up to, but if I were to say anything, it's going to be corny, but keep doing what you're doing. If you're going to change, make sure you change together and not separately.
My advice to them would be, well, there's a couple things. One of them is a word, or actually it's an acronym. The word is THINK, and it's an acronym for true, helpful, inspiring, necessary, and kind. And always think before you speak. So if you can use the word or the acronym THINK before you get into maybe a discussion, if there's something in your marriage you need to communicate about, which communication is very key. Always think before you have that conversation. And always forgive each other. Forgiving is very freeing and it just feels good. And the last of my words of advice would be to pray together. I know your dad and I didn't do that early on in our marriage, but we have been for many years now, and it is just one of the best things, one of the best ways to start our morning is to pray together. There's just some intimacy between the two of you and God when you're praying together.
And advice would be quite a long list after 62 years of marriage. Lots of suggestions of honesty, praying together, and communication, showing your love, and compliments, forgiveness, vacations, and date nights.
And as far as advice, you must be doing things right, because you're back together. You started out going dating, and then you went your separate ways, and then got back together, and you're still together, and it looks like you will be the rest of your life. I know another couple that did the same thing, and they've been together for 62 years. That's all I got to say.
My advice to you as a married couple is to always give each other the benefit of the doubt. You are now husband and wife, you are now roommates, but most importantly, you guys are a team. You are each other's teammate, and it's so important that you have each other's back. So it is extremely important to always give the benefit of the doubt. Doing so, just shows how much respect, love, compassion you have for each other. And honestly, it just makes things less stressful, not having to assume anything. Just giving the benefit of the doubt just absolutely make things so much easier, and I promise you it'll make your married life so much better.
Well, I'm not qualified enough, but whatever I have learned over the due course of time of my marriage, what I would suggest is stick with each other through thick and thin. And how's that possible? So it's possible by compromising, by having patience, and the most importantly, by keeping our ego aside.
And my marriage advice in life, I guess, would be that love is not only an emotion, but also a commitment. And so remember that you guys are committing to being there with each other through the ups and downs and through everything that life throws your way, so that when sometimes you're not feeling that emotion as strong as you do right now because of many things that come with life, just remember that you're committed to each other and to God to spend the rest of your lives together, and that together you will get through everything. So, yay!
Well, I'm just wishing them many, many happy years together.
Keep God in your marriage, because you know that He's a big part of your marriage. There's the three of you, Derek, Caitlin, and God.
Gosh, I don't know if I'm the person to be giving advice, but I think just remember the little things. I think it's very easy to get in a routine and things in life to, get used to waking up, making breakfast, going to work, coming home, watching TV, or reading a book, and then going to bed. But I think it's the little things, the kind of spontaneity that keeps that spark there in a marriage. And I know you guys do a lot of that now, but I think just keep that up.
What advice would you give to them? Because you're really wise. I mean, you're 16.
I don't know. Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
When it comes to a piece of advice, I'd probably say just being open in your communication. I know you guys are moving or have already moved in, are going to be living together. So I know it's going to be tough getting adjusted to how each of you live. And I know if Derek's just as messy as it was in college, Caitlin, you might hate him for a little bit. But I mean, just have that open communication. I'm still not the neatest person, but I think one of the big things that I've learned over the past couple of years living with Maureen is having an organization chart and just kind of listing out what my chores are for 1 week and what it is for Maureen. So I'd highly suggest doing that. It's going to give you a responsibility to get it done for that week. So I mean, if you guys ever need anything, Maureen and I are more than happy to talk to you guys.
So, a little bit of advice. Just know how loved both of you are by each other, by your friends, by your family. If you ever forget how loved you are, hopefully you save this video and you can just watch it and know how much your friends love and adore and respect both of you. You are so special to us and we just love you, and I want you to just know that you are loved. And Derek, I have one little piece of advice for you. Remember who she married first.
So proud of you and so glad to be your friends.
So I truly look forward to watching the two of you grow closer together, to grow as a family. I look forward to meeting your children. And the other piece of advice that I would give you is don't forget where your parents live.
And congratulations on your marriage, and hope it is to be forever happy and successful. Thank you.
I'm just saying congratulations at this special time. Yep.
You guys are just such a lovely couple, and I'm so excited for you. And I'm the crybaby, so I better shut this off before I start crying too much, because no one wants to see that on a video. But yeah, congratulations, you two. I'm so very excited to see what the future holds for both of us, and thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Oh, and obviously, congratulations! Thank you so much for letting me be part of your special day, and I wish to you the very best.
I want to wish you congratulations. I know I'm probably hungover at this point, being the morning after your wedding, but I hope you guys are feeling fresh. I'm so excited to celebrate this portion of life with you guys, and I cannot wait to see you guys after you get back. Eventually, I don't know when I'm going to see you, but soon.
I look forward to watching you guys grow as a married couple now and staying lifelong friends with both of you. Congratulations again.
Congratulations, Caitlin and Derek.
Derek and Caitlin, I consider you both really good friends. Couldn't be happier for the both of you. We've all had some really good times, and I think you know what I'm talking about. We're not going to get into much depth about this, but I wish you both health and happiness from here on out. I'm looking forward to the memories that we'll make down the road.
But in all seriousness, thank you so much, Derek and Caitlin, for these years of friendship that you guys have given me. It's been truly unbelievable that we have come this far and now you guys are married, but I hope to lead my life by your example, and I'm just so excited to see what God brings in your guys' life, like a child, and I can't wait just to be a part of it. I also can't wait till you guys get old and walk down the road hand in hand like these two. So precious.
I wish you both nothing but a lifetime of happiness, togetherness, and a beautiful marriage, guys. Congratulations again.
Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Steele. I can't believe it.
Just thank you so much for letting me be a part of your special day. I'm so happy for you guys and love you guys. Can't wait to make so many more memories with you.
Congratulations, you guys, and I'll miss having you so close to me, Caitlin, but I know you're only a drive away, so don't forget where we live.
Oh, here we are. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Steele. Extremely happy for you guys, and I'm very honored that I was able to be chosen to be a part of your special day. Love you guys.
Yeah, love you both.
I love you both.
All right, love you guys.
Yes, I love them very much.
Love you guys.
I love you very much.
Bye. Love you.
Mwah. Love you. Bye. Mwah. Love you.
I love you.
I love you guys both so much.
Love both of you guys more than anything.
Love you.
I love you guys.
Love you guys.
You are so very loved.